Up next at 6, multiple false threats called into schools across the Northwest. What police are sharing about the incidents, why these swatting calls are such a big burden on law enforcement. Spokane County looking to rectify the problem of forever chemicals in certain waterways, how they're handling that issue tonight. Some new information. In the Kootenai School District, moving forward with a 4-day school week. The details on the new plan that has been shared by the school board.
And we've seen a few isolated showers and thunderstorms up across those northern mountains. We'll talk about that, get a look at the winds and what we can expect for the rest of the work week. NonStop Local at 6 starts right now.
Sean Osley and Leslie Lowe with content connecting our community. You're watching NonStop Local KHQ at 6.
Well, tonight, local authorities and school districts are on high alert in the wake of anonymous shooting threats earlier today, a pair of those. Welcome to NonStop Local 6. Good to be with you tonight. I'm Sean Osley. It's our lead story today. 2 apparent swatting incidents took place opposite ends of our region. The first in Omak, the second in Lewiston. Around 10 a.m., Omak High School received an anonymous call. The caller threatening to shoot up the school within 15 minutes. All buildings were placed in lockdown as first responders rushed to that area. About an hour later, Omak police determined the threat was not credible, and they were able to open the campus and resume class by 11:15. Police remained on campus for the rest of the day as a precautionary measure, but no additional information was released about the nature, the specifics of that threat in Omak. About 10 minutes after that threat was debunked, police in Lewiston, Idaho got a call about a possible active shooter at Cornerstone Christian School. The caller told police that they had taken an anonymous call with the threat of a shooting. Cornerstone Christian and several other schools in the Lewiston School District were locked down as police arrived. Lewiston police lifted that lockdown right before noon. The concern over swatting or these false claims of active shooters has grown rapidly over the last decade. Swatting calls are not new to the inland Northwest either. Notable incidents have occurred at Shadle Park, Ridgeline, and Lewis Clark High Schools. And that's just in the last 4 years. And just last week, a bomb threat triggered an evacuation of Silver Lake Mall in Coeur d'Alene. So you understand, you have a snapshot tonight. While these calls are often false flags, they still tie up significant police resources, and they can be hard to trace. Swatting is a serious felony in Washington and Idaho, carrying heavy fines and years of potential prison time. Continuing coverage, exposure to harmful forever chemicals is linked to a series of health risks. Some people living in Spokane's West Plains neighborhood see high levels of these chemicals in their drinking water. This weekend marks a step toward safer water for the area. NonStop Local KHQ's Rosemary Wright tracking this for us tonight, joining us in studio live. Good to see you, Rosemary. Contaminated water near the airport is an issue we've been tracking for several years.
Sean, those forever chemicals are not something that you want in your family's drinking water. So this weekend, Spokane County, the city of Spokane, and Spokane International Airport are coming together to give out water filters for those living in the West Plains area. Saturday, these groups will host an open house at the waste-to-energy plant. The city says they'll give out water filter pitchers and containers for collecting water, too. Those attending can also expect instructions for using the city's water fill station and getting wells on their property tested. This all in an effort to limit exposure to forever chemicals for those living near the airport.
You know, we still shower in and brush our teeth, wash our dishes, wash our clothes. In PFAS water because we can't get around it.
Investigation at the airport found they, alongside the city and the county, are, quote, potentially liable persons in the presence of forever chemicals in area drinking water. That's according to a statement from the city about this weekend's event. You may know forever chemicals by the acronym PFAS. Nearly all people in the U.S. have some measurable amount of PFAS in their blood, according to Spokane Regional Health District. But our bodies don't break them down easily, hence the name forever chemicals. The health district links PFAS to high cholesterol, blood pressure problems, a weak immune system, and issues during pregnancy, too. Spokane Public Works says the airport named as a site with forever chemicals about 3 years ago. This is just the latest attempt at securing safe water for those living nearby. This weekend's event is set to run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can find more information on who should attend and how on our website, nonstoplocal.com. Sean?
Rosemary Wright in studio. Rosemary, thank you. All right, let's get to that weather, and thanks, Leslie.
Thanks. That's thanks Mother Nature, right?
Absolutely. Big thanks to Mother Nature. But
I
a big
mean,
thanks to you, too.
Hey, thanks. And thank you right back.
Sorry, there was an awkward pause there. I was multitasking off camera.
It's all good. I think we're all multitasking today,
Take it away.
Right? I'll take it. Okay, you throw it on over to me, and I'll go ahead and talk about that weather forecast because we have got some cloudier conditions out there this afternoon. While our daytime highs, though, still well above our average for this time of the year at 77 degrees. Average is 64. Overnight lows about 10 degrees above our average for this time of the year. And sunset tonight is at 8:09. A little bit filtered tonight with the clouds that we've got out there. Satellite radar showing that cloud coverage, and then those pop-up showers and isolated thunderstorms. We've had a little line push through Colville, Chewelah, again starting to slide to the south and to the east and really starting to fall apart, that little cell. However, we've got one currently right over the top of my friends in Nelson, BC, and it is producing some lightning strikes there. So brief heavy downpours within those little cells. Again, dangerous cloud to ground lightning and gusty outflow winds. That little band is going to continue to move southward. So my friends in Bonners Ferry, please keep that in mind. There's your thunderstorm threat for today. Northeast mountains at that extreme northeast corner of Washington, North Idaho, and over towards western Montana. Now, in addition to this, Sean, we've also got some breezy conditions out there. And while thunderstorms will start to taper off as we get into that midnight hour, winds will not. So we'll talk about that, get a full look at that weather forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks very much, Leslie. Well, civic engagement leaders in Washington calling on the state to adopt ranked choice voting as a way to secure voting rights against changes to the Federal Voting Rights Act. Last week's U.S. Supreme Court ruling found a majority black district in Louisiana to be unconstitutional. Critics of the decision say it will lead to less representation for people of color across the country. Nilu Jenks with Fair Vote Washington says it does not serve the country's democracy to keep fighting over redistricting.
The answer is reforming our electoral system that has not been serving us. We all feel it's not serving us. It is driving political violence. We deserve to have a system that gives people more voice and more choice, and that's proportional ranked choice voting.
Ranked choice allows voters to rank candidates in order of preference rather than just selecting one. And the proportional method enables multiple candidate districts, allowing more elected members to bodies like a city council. Jenks says that option closely reflects the diversity and views of a community. A ranked choice bill in the state legislature meant for local governments failed to advance this session. Common critiques of this idea include it being complicated and delays results. Last month at their board meeting, the Kootenai School District in Harrison, Idaho voted to approve a 4-day student school week beginning this fall. The latest school district of nearly 100 to do so in Idaho. And that will affect about 210 students overall. NonStop Local KHQ's Corey Howard spoke with the superintendent about the upcoming change.
Yeah, Superintendent Brad Baumberger told me the move is meant to make sure kids are getting quality learning time while they are at school. For instance, at the elementary level, he said some kids have IEPs or individual education plans, which gives teachers an idea of how a child best learns. That means teachers have to come up with multiple lessons plans for the same subject. So while the kids will have 4-day school weeks, he said teachers will take that extra day to work on upcoming lesson plans. And at the junior high and high school level, kids don't have the same teachers, so time for teachers to collaborate with each other and talk about the needs of kids, where they're excelling, where they may need work, etc., is also tough. At the high school level, state requirements need to be satisfied in terms of career and college opportunities. Baumberger said the 4-day school week allows for a high school apprenticeship/internship programs, which Governor Brad Little wants to expand in the state anyways. And he said that allows kids to get real-world job experiences for free while allowing them to give back to the community and potentially stick around after high school.
I would love it if we were a big school, but you know what? And we'll have opportunities for college. But when we send our smartest kids away from here to become marine biologists and cardiologists and brain surgeons, they leave our community and never come back. The thing that I'm worried about is our career kids, to make sure that they have something that they can do in this community to earn a living.
Baumberger said they've already had a strong response from local businesses who are looking to participate in that program. This will lengthen the school day by about a half an hour. But he says during that time, students will be able to advocate for themselves by utilizing that extra time to get additional attention from teachers and subjects they may be falling behind in. Obviously, one of the concerns with this switch is childcare. I asked the superintendent about that. He emphasized the district isn't a childcare facility, but rather an educational institution. But he did say they are looking into a few things to address that and will be providing more information as solutions progress. The schedule will start next school year for the kids with the bell schedule of Monday through Thursday, 7:56 a.m. to 3:40 p.m. Sean?
Corey Howard in studio. Corey, thank you. Big change there. Sharing the good out of Stevens County, a man who previously ran to be the mayor, Marcus, rescued 2 men after their boat sank near Marcus Island. Here's a look at where this happened. Stevens County Sheriff's Office said Ethan Jennings heard about that emergency, left a family barbecue, used his kayak to reach the men in very dangerous conditions. Jennings paddled nearly a mile across open water to reach the men who had been in the cold water for 15 minutes. National Park Service rangers arrived later and brought both men to shore for medical care. Sheriff's Office recognized Jennings for his, quote, courage, selflessness, and willingness to step in when it mattered most. Well, it's that time of year, the Help Me Haley Make a Splash swimsuit drive in partnership with the Spokane Parks Foundation. Locations where you can drop off donations right here on your screen, and you can make a big impact. Spokane Parks Foundation, they need children's swimsuits, toddler age to teen. The foundation will then sort and distribute those by month's end to children in need. Still to come here tonight at 6, sign language teacher that connects, breaking the barrier of sound, touching lives. At Ferris High School, you'll want to stick around. It was Emotional Teacher of the Month for us today. We can't wait to share that with you.
And a live look over Spokane. Some cloudier skies out there as we head into this evening with some isolated showers and thunderstorms up across those northern mountains. Closer look at that weather forecast when we see you back here right after the break.
Well, you're looking at some of the best that Manitou Park has to offer, and it is spectacular. Spring in full bloom across the inland Northwest. Well, for those of us who witness it each year, it's just as special as the last. Now, the beauty of our region being highlighted for a national audience. NonStop Local KHQ's Tori Smith sat down with the host of the PBS series, Follow the Blooms.
Who doesn't love flowers? I know I sure do, and flowers are about to get an entire series on PBS called Follow the Blooms.
With host Katie Lila, the show features flower gardens from across the nation, many of them here in the inland Northwest.
My heart is most at home in Spokane. So no matter what happens with the show, I always want it to root here. So we'll always try to film a big part of the show and the episodes in Spokane.
A total of 10 episodes highlighting local growers. The passion for Katie came from her grandmother, and her love for flowers continued to blossom.
There are these huge, beautiful displays, and only a very few amount of people get to see them for a few hours, right? So I was like, ooh, how could we make flowers available on a large scale for lots of people to interact with?
That's where she started filming hands-on events, which is now a series.
What is something that you hope people take away from watching your PBS series?
Delight. I hope that they just feel the joy of flowers. It's supposed to be really entertaining and fun and, you know, silly and not taking anything too seriously, but also filling them up with answers about the flower world. You know, where do your flowers come from? Let's start to understand that.
And a friendly reminder.
Sometimes we hold back because we think someone needs us to give us permission, but flowers are just this gorgeous reminder of just bloom.
Season 1 will be airing in June, and there are already plans for a Season 2, so definitely stay tuned. Reporting in Spokane, Tori Smith, NonStop Local.
Yeah, fantastic to get up there and see that. It was fantastic for us to get out today. Head up to South Hill. We got a chance to deliver an award, the NonStop Local KHQ, Eastern Washington University Teacher of the Month, and it was special.
It really was. So we made our trek up, like Sean said, the South Hill to Ferris High School. Our Teacher of the Month, Bethany Hall.
And like Leslie said, we are here to recognize somebody truly special and near and dear to our hearts. Our KHQ Eastern Washington University Teacher of the Month is Bethany Holt.
Bethany Holt is the head teacher of the American Sign Language program at Ferris High School, which offers classes to students looking to learn the language, as well as curating an environment for students who have difficulty hearing.
Oh, wow. I am amazed. Thank you so much. So many of you have taken ASL, and that's why I'm here. I love each one of you. And it's so wonderful to see you out here and to see you signing around the school. It's amazing, and thank you.
We were emotional during that one, yeah.
I was, after
Their
we announced it,
family
and
right
I was watching her, and she was just so touched.
Yeah.
It meant so much to her, and her entire family. Her husband Eric works here at KHQ, and we brought the kids there. Eric was out there, and just the most fantastic family. Here's
really
a picture of the
are.
whole crew, and thanks to representatives from Eastern and STCU and the principal and all of you up at Ferris, you Saxons, thanks for having us. It really was a great event. We shot that about this afternoon, and thanks to Bethany and Eric taught me, and I did this out there. This is congratulations in signing. So.
I know, they're such a special family.
Yeah,
it really, I mean, it was the best way for us to wrap up the Teacher of the Month, because that was our final one of the year. And I mean, just to have Eric's wife, and she really is just quite amazing.
Yeah.
She's quite amazing.
Permeates kindness and makes a major impact. Loved it.
And like you said, the Saxons,
yeah,
they're pretty fierce.
They're a little rowdy.
They were rowdy.
The
they
Saxons
were fun.
were a little rowdy.
That's right. We like that. We like that.
It was a little touch and go for a while.
And the principal and assistant principal, everybody was wonderful. Fantastic. It was a great afternoon. All right, let's get a look at that weather forecast, because we did see some clouds roll in later on this afternoon. There's a live look over Spokane. Current temperature sitting right there within the mid-70s. In Spokane, lower into the 70s. In Coeur d'Alene, 69 degrees currently. In Pullman, so we've taken a little bit of a drop there, 78 degrees. That's our current temperature in Chihuahua. Wind speeds on and off throughout the afternoon have been anywhere from 10 to 20, even 25 miles per hour sustained. We're currently seeing some wind gusts over towards Coeur d'Alene at about 19 miles per hour, but the strongest winds are back into central Washington. They're 20-25 between Omak and Moses Lake, and then through Ellensburg at about 43 miles per hour right there along the basin. You can see Pendleton 29 mile per hour gusts to Hermiston at about 28 miles per hour, and the Dalles sitting with those wind gusts at 31 miles per hour, which is where we've got wind advisories. You can see across the basin, then up towards Cattetess County until about 1 o'clock in the morning. This is where we could see some of those wind gusts 40, 45, even 50 miles per hour. Now, in addition, we've had some pop-up showers and thunderstorms, very isolated. This little line right here producing a couple of lightning strikes here just out of Chihuahua and Colville, and then this line right now currently pushing over the top of Nelson. It's also got, not in addition to the dangerous cloud ground lightning, brief heavy downpours, and then we're seeing those gusty outflow winds to go along with that as well. Overnight lows tonight, and we'll see gradual clearing throughout the overnights. We'll drop down to about 52 degrees in Spokane, 54 in Lewiston. Back into central Washington, we've got low into the 50s around Moses Lake, and then we'll be near 60 degrees for overnight lows tonight in the Tri-Cities. So that tops off the low down. Still, again, gusty conditions, breezy conditions continue into tomorrow. Otherwise sunny and warm. Few more clouds on Friday, but boy, we're setting things up for a beautiful Mother's Day weekend. We are watching a line of severe weather right now making its way through the Mississippi Valley, deep south right here with tornado warnings, tornadoes being reported touching down there. So we'll continue to follow up on that. I'll bring you in here to the Pacific Northwest. You can see this system as we head into tomorrow morning shoots over towards Montana. We clear out, and so again, it's quiet with the winds that will just be on and off throughout the afternoon, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. So nothing significant, just a little bit inconvenient. Like I said, though, temperatures headed back up. Upper 70s in Spokane, mid 70s over towards Coeur d'Alene. Northern Mountains, 85 degrees. That's our high tomorrow in Omak. We've got mid 70s expected in Sandpoint, 84 degrees in Wenatchee, 77 in Ritzville, and Davenport checking in at 78 degrees. Montana on the cooler side at 67, 73 degrees for the Silver Valley, and then upper 70s near 80 degree temperatures for the LC Valley. Remember, please, those water temperatures still on the cold side can be incredibly dangerous. And as promised, Mother's Day weekend looks amazing. All right, my friend Austin back with sports after this.
live from the Northern Quest Sports Studio. This is SWX NonStop Local Sports.
Gonzaga baseball has just 6 games remaining in the regular season and on the verge of winning the West Coast Conference regular season title for the first time since 2022. The Zags are also looking to do something they haven't done since 2022, which is make the NCAA tournament. After a non-conference win over Washington State on Monday, the Zags are preparing to head to San Francisco for a vital 3-game series against the Dons. As you can see on your screen, the Zags are up 3 games on USF for first place in the WCC. So a win in the series, especially a sweep, would put the Zags right on the edge of clinching the regular season title. But head coach Mark Maktoff, even with his team at the top of the conference, is still trying to not look ahead.
I think our kids are going to remain confident. They've played well for so long that hopefully they wouldn't let one weekend change that. But we've been preparing for it, and we really pride ourselves on playing. You know, they're all important from day one, and so we pride ourselves on coming out and doing it our way, regardless of the situation, regardless of the score.
Big weekend for the Zags, 3 against USF on the road. First pitch of the first game on Friday at 2 o'clock. After this series, the Zags close out the regular season at home against Seattle U for 3 games next week. Washington State Cougar baseball is putting together one of their best seasons in years. They've won 5 consecutive series for the first time since 1999 and are in the hunt for the Mountain West Conference title. This weekend is the final conference series for the Cougars, and they're headed to Air Force to face a Falcons team who is just ahead of them for 2nd place. If the Cougs are able to finish with one of the top 2 spots, San Diego also not totally out of reach either. They'd grab a first-round bye in the Mountain West Conference tournament. Wazoo head coach Nathan Choate is ready for a big road test against the Falcons.
We can win the series on the road. I think we can get the bye. I think that will happen, and so obviously we need to pitch well. It's a pretty offensive ballpark, but yeah, that's kind of, if you can finish in the 1st or 2nd spot, you get that bye, and you're not playing in the playing game. So pretty big deal this weekend.
Cougs looking for their 6th straight series win, one that would have massive postseason implications. This 3-game set also gets started Friday at 2 o'clock, and then after this series, the Cougs have just 1 remaining regular season game, a home non-conference matchup against Seattle U next Tuesday. Big news for Gonzaga great Yvonne Ejim. The former Zag has signed a training camp contract with the WNBA's Toronto Tempo, an expansion club preparing to play their first season in the W. A 2-time WCC Player of the Year will have a chance to play in her home country after last playing pro ball in Spain. There's currently 16 players on Toronto's roster. They will have to cut that down to 12 by the time the regular season starts on Friday. And Kentucky Derby winner Golden Tempo will not run in the Preakness Stakes on May 16th. That announcement coming from trainer Cherie DeVoe today. DeVoe saying the owners and her have made the decision that Golden Tempo needs more rest after running the Derby and that they are turning their attention to potentially running him in the Belmont Stakes. That's coming up on June 6th. So Sean won't have a Triple Crown winner this year. Our last Triple Crown winner coming in 2018, excuse me, Justify.
Yeah, but the trainer, if you have not seen the video that went
Seek it
viral,
out.
her reaction when they won the Derby was awesome.
And historic, first female trainer to win the Kentucky Derby, and now the 152nd year of the race.
Yeah, I've always loved horse racing.
It's amazing.
They're so majestic.
Having a bit of a boom right now. Biggest TV viewings for NBC in the Derby ever this year.
Next to your sportscast, right?
Well, people must have been looking for it or something.
Right, scan it. All right, thanks, Austin.
Of course.
Straight ahead tonight at 6:30, we're taking a look at medical gaslighting, or the invalidation of your concerns in the medical community. Our Belle Lewis in depth on decisions that are driving patients away from the care that they really need. NonStop Local at 6:30 in 60 seconds.
Sean Owsley with in-depth 360 coverage of content connecting our community. This is NonStop Local KHQ at 6:30.
And good evening, I'm Sean Owsley. Thanks for being with us tonight here at the 6:30 to our 360 coverage. Going to a doctor's appointment, it's stressful for a number of reasons. Social media, though, calling attention, and you may have seen this, to one more reason that they say going to the doctor's office can be painful or frightening. It's called medical gaslighting. Researchers now looking into this to see exactly what it is, what impacts it has on those patients who experience it.
We're talking about people who go to the doctor with a physical symptom, complaint, looking for help, and they get told, they get dismissed.
Belle joins us now here in studio. Hi, Belle. We've spoken about just how widespread medical gaslighting appears to be. Tell me how you heard about it and decided to pursue this story.
Yeah, absolutely, Sean. According to some recent studies, as many as 84% of women experience medical gaslighting in their life. But I was introduced to this concept actually by hearing from you, the viewers. I received an email from a woman who said it was something that she experienced, and that prompted me to reach out to the viewers to hear other stories. And 700 commenters responded, telling me about their experience going to the doctors and how they had to advocate for themselves, and especially hearing from women who've had that same experience.
And you just mentioned that, hearing from women. What does the research suggest about how this impacts women overall?
Yeah, Sean, I spoke with a leading professional on this very issue. Her name is Dr. Karen Spencer, and she said that women experience this due to a variety of compounding factors, not just from those doctors' offices, but also from medical practices at large in the United States and across the world. But really, we're looking at women who have some trouble connecting with their doctors, and then also having doctors who might not be fully educated on these specific issues, and that can all compound. That's what she says the research is suggesting.
Another question for you, and this one just popped up in my head, but if you go in and you're misdiagnosed, you can go down a rabbit hole that can last not just weeks, months, even years, chasing something that you may or may not have.
Yeah, absolutely, Sean, and that's obviously a really big concern with medical gaslighting. In fact, according to the Harvard Medical School definition, they say that's a very common side effect. So when we are talking about medical gaslighting, it's far more than just going to a doctor and feeling dismissed. It can lead to real health impacts down the line.
And bottom line, big picture, this is for us. What type of impact are we talking about here? What did you learn?
Absolutely. I reached out to some of the women that experienced this issue. They were gracious enough to tell me about their experiences. We're going to be hearing from them tomorrow as they break down their own experiences and how they've learned to advocate for themselves. And Sean, also a sneak peek for tomorrow as well. I also reached out to some local medical institutions to talk about that communication, building that rapport between patient and doctor that can help eliminate miscommunication. We'll have that for you tomorrow as well.
A lot of questions, a lot of answers yet to be had. Belle Lewis on our 360 at 6:30. Belle, thank you. Now to our Big Six headlines tonight. New information out of Idaho. Rathdrum Mayor Mike Hill officially resigning from his position just after local law enforcement announced he was allegedly involved in a domestic battery incident. Hill's name, however, has not appeared on the Kootenai County Jail roster. According to a police report, police responded to a call for a domestic dispute at a residence and were told by a witness that he had fled the scene. The victim told police they did not want to press charges, and they believed Hill would be unarmed and in the Spokane area. Rathdrum City Council President John Hodgkins will be acting as interim mayor in the meantime, saying in a statement that while the change may bring questions, City of Rathdrum, quote, remains stable and continues to be led by your elected officials, end quote. Kootenai County Sheriff's Office says they were called to the scene due to potential conflict of interest, and they are now leading this investigation. The case remains active tonight. New at 6:30, 1 month after a fourth year of drought is declared in Washington, Governor Ferguson and the Department of Ecology launching a statewide initiative to tackle growing water challenges. Washington's Water Future will bring roundtables to communities across the state this summer. The Yakima Basin, all too familiar with these types of challenges. John Devaney, president of the Washington State Tree Fruit Association, called attention to the Yakima Basin Integrated Plan, saying although there's been progress through the last 18 years, it's still just the beginning to building more water supply. Devaney also noting The 1-2 punch of damage at the Yakima Canal, first from the retreat fire in 2024, followed by this winter's flooding from the atmospheric river.
They're not certain from day to day if that system will blow out when water is in it. This is a clear example of the need to not only plan long term, but be prepared to see that hole that we're already in get a little bit deeper.
State leaders stress the importance of finding solutions that work. As climate change makes winter flooding and summer droughts more common, snowpack becomes less reliable for storing water. Today, a federal judge in New York ordered the release of a document purported to be a letter written by Jeffrey Epstein just weeks before his suicide. Pulse anchor Bradley Warren tracking this story for us tonight. Good evening, Bradley.
Yeah, hey, Sean. So it's believed to potentially be a suicide note. I have it right here. This is the information from the attorney's office that was requesting it. And this is the letter. We'll put it on your screen for you here, right here, so you can get a look at it for yourself. It has been kept secret for 7 years, locked up in a New York courthouse. The New York Times was really the organization that launched this story forward. The letter was discovered in July of 2019 by a cellmate who was convicted of a quadruple murder. That cellmate brought it to his lawyer, and you'll see here on your screen as we look at it together. It says they investigated me, found nothing. It then references 10-year-old charges. In the middle of the letter, it does say, quote, "It's time to say goodbye," and in closing, it says, "No fun, not worth it." Epstein, of course, hanged himself in jail in August of 2019 before he could stand trial for sex trafficking minors, among other accusations. This is the latest piece of information in this puzzle of this case that we've been able to get our hands on. The full letter is up on our website, nonstoplocal.com, if you'd like to take a look at it for yourself. Sean?
All right, Bradley, thank you on a breaking story for us tonight at 6:30. Appreciate it. 3 passengers have been evacuated from a cruise ship after a suspected hantavirus outbreak left 8 infected, 3 dead. That ship remains in limbo off Cape Verde as authorities investigate. The World Health Organization says contact tracing and lab testing are underway after passengers on the ship contracted the rare Andes strain of hantavirus, which has a high fatality rate. Amid global concern, an American passenger describes the uncertainty on board.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part.
The ship was headed to the Canary Islands, but officials there are now pushing back on its arrival. Authorities in Switzerland, meantime, confirm an infected passenger is being treated after leaving the vessel. Oil prices dropping sharply today as the U.S. suspended its naval escort mission in the Strait of Hormuz to allow peace talks to continue. A reported progress being made. The blockade, however, does remain in place tonight. Iranian officials say they're reviewing the latest proposal from the United States, which the president said in a PBS interview includes Iran pledging not to operate underground nuclear facilities and export its enriched uranium to the U.S., something Iran has said in the past they would not agree to.
We know for a fact that they retain highly enriched uranium at 60%, that they did so, and that has no civilian use, none, zero whatsoever.
In a social media post, the president saying today Operation Epic Fury will end if Iran agrees to the current deal, but warned if they don't, the bombing will continue. Look at our gas price averages. Washington State up 4 cents from yesterday at $5.74 a gallon. Idaho up 3 cents, $4.54 for all of you in Idaho. Nationally, for a gallon of gas, the average $4.53. Ted Turner, the high-flying media tycoon, entrepreneur, and philanthropist who founded CNN, revolutionized American cable TV, died today at the age of 87. Here's NBC's Chris Clackham.
You bet your bippy. Media mogul Ted Turner had his own way to describe his life.
An adventure. I think I've led an adventurer's life, and that's really what I wanted to do.
And that he did. Born Robert Edward Turner III in 1938, he revolutionized television by creating CNN and became a brash billionaire who lived a life taking risk, most of which paid off.
My father's advice to me was, do not set goals that are achievable during your lifetime. Set goals that are too high to achieve.
After dropping out of Brown University, Turner followed his father into the billboard advertising business, taking over the company after his father's suicide. Soon he expanded into television and radio, purchasing a small independent TV station in Atlanta that aired old movies and syndicated programs, then using satellite to beam a signal to cable systems and audiences nationwide.
For the next hour, I hope you'll join me.
He called it the TBS Superstation. It also broadcast games of sports teams he had later purchased: the Atlanta Braves, Atlanta Hawks, and the NHL Thrashers. And to demonstrate his own sporting ability, he won the America's Cup, earning the nickname Captain Courageous. But Turner's greatest innovation came in 1980, when he launched the Cable News Network, bringing 24-hour news to millions of viewers worldwide. By the mid-90s, Turner merged his empire with Time Warner, a $7.5 billion deal that made him a billionaire as well as board chairman, which he gave up a few years later. By 2001, he had given up on his 10-year marriage to actress Jane Fonda.
I love this world of ours.
But a passionate environmentalist and philanthropist, Ted Turner also gave back, once donating $1 billion to the UN for humanitarian efforts worldwide. Chris Clackham, NBC News.
Much more straight ahead tonight here on the 6:30 in your health news, how a new AI technology is changing cancer detection and catching lung cancer years earlier. Plus, Energizer taking steps to keep your children safe, the new line of batteries available, and how they can protect your kids.
And a live look over Spokane. A few isolated showers and thunderstorms up across the northeast mountains over towards the Panhandle. We'll take a closer look at that, talk about the winds and what we can expect as we get you into Mother's Day weekend when we see you back here in a few minutes. Sean.
All right, Leslie, stick around for this one good thing. It's here in Washington State. A garbage man in Wenatchee receiving an unexpected gift, a sweet story. It's our one good thing straight ahead.
We'll see gradual clearing as we get you into the overnight hours tonight, with those overnight lows dipping down into the low end of the 50s for Spokane. We do have some wind advisories, though, as we head through early tomorrow morning until 1 a.m. on Thursday. You can see areas shaded in brown, so Kettitas County under a wind advisory. Also areas across the basin, Hermiston backing up all the way into the Dalles, with some of those wind gusts expected to approach that 45-50 mile per hour mark. So if you happen to be traveling in the overnights, especially in a high profile vehicle, please take it easy out there. Otherwise, we've been watching this little trail of showers and thunderstorms pushing now through Nelson, BC, over the border along Bonners Ferry. We're still seeing some isolated lightning strikes with this little cell as it pushes over towards Montana. This cell around Colville and Chewelah has fizzled out for the most part, but there's one back behind its heels here that looks like it's starting to fire up. So again, very isolated chances for showers and thunderstorms. Regardless, the lightning can be incredibly dangerous. So please keep an eye on the sky. Thunder roars, get yourself indoors. It's that time of the year that I get to say that a lot. We've also been keeping a close eye on the deep south areas into the Mississippi Valley. We're seeing tornado warnings and watches, as well as advisories. We're seeing severe thunderstorm warnings and watches as well. I think we've got a couple of tornadoes down towards Mississippi, so we'll watch that very closely. If you've got family that direction, a good place to check on right now. Also, as we get you into the overnight hours, this front that is pulling through is mainly going to affect areas over towards Montana, and so this is where we're seeing the heaviest of shower activity. You can see we've got mainly clear skies as we get you into our day on Thursday, so expect plenty of sunshine, but the winds will be the other player. Nothing significant, just a little bit inconvenient for tomorrow. You can see some of those wind speeds anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour sustained. We'll likely see a few higher wind gusts for areas back out towards central Washington. Our highs, though, they pop right back into the upper 70s in Spokane. We've got mid 70s expected over towards Coeur d'Alene. The northern mountains, mid 80s up around Omak. We'll pop back down into the mid to upper 70s between Sandpoint and Bonners Ferry. Cascade Valleys tomorrow, mid 80s around Wenatchee. We've got 86 in Chelan, 81 degrees in Moses Lake, and then we've got upper 70s there for Ritzville over towards Davenport and Brewton. It is cooler over towards Montana. Again, we're expecting some shower activity, so 67 degrees, 73 for the Silver Valley. Low 70s expected for Grangeville, low to mid 70s in the Palouse, and then near 80-degree temperatures for Lewiston and Orofino. So the 7-day forecast, another system sliding by, so it'll pick up our winds and bring in a few more clouds again as we wrap up the work week, but we clear out just in time for Mother's Day weekend. Look at that step in temperatures from the mid 70s on Saturday to the 80s expected on Sunday. So, you know, Mother's Day, we always say wait to plant until after Mother's Day. And if you're wanting to plant on Mother's Day, I think it's a pretty good idea.
What's your favorite gift?
Favorite gift?
Yeah.
Let's see, all-time favorite gift on Mother's Day?
Yeah.
My daughter got me a bar of Caress soap one year. I think I still have it.
That just took a turn. I did not expect that.
It was so cute. It was really just so cute. She picked it out. She was just a little girl. And that was the soap that I liked. And so she picked that out for me, and I never used it. I just kept it.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, all right.
It's the little things. It's the simple things, right?
I always say it's time.
Time is always
time
the best.
with the kids.
Yes.
Which we can't call them kids because they're grown, but they're still our kids.
But they're still our kids.
Yeah.
I still call them kiddos. What do you do?
Right. I'm going to call it a night here soon.
Yeah,
so are you.
You got a few more minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and take off. Have a great night, my friend, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
You too, Leslie.
Okay,
Wheels
thanks.
up for Leslie right now. Your health news tonight, it's World Maternal Mental Health Day, and doctors are emphasizing the importance of recognizing symptoms. Here's Mandy Gaither.
It was more than 30 years ago, but Wendy Davis still feels the pain.
I knew I loved him, but I couldn't feel it.
For a decade after having her first child, Davis says she faced depression and anxiety. She couldn't eat or sleep.
I was so embarrassed, and I didn't tell anybody because depression changes how you think about yourself. So instead of thinking, I need to reach out and let somebody know, I thought, I can't tell anybody.
1 in 5 women face symptoms of mental health disorders during and the first year after pregnancy. That can include feeling flat or numb, not enjoying what you used to, irritability, anxiety, insomnia, not feeling hungry, intrusive, repetitive fears, even suicidal ideation.
What happens to the pregnant postpartum woman is that she doesn't recognize these are symptoms. What happens is she thinks, I shouldn't have done this. I'm not cut out to be a mom.
Davis is now president and CEO of Postpartum Support International, a nonprofit that provides free resources and support for those who have symptoms that she herself struggled through. The help she eventually sought in her own life gave her awareness and the courage to have a second child.
It's important to know you're not alone. It's not your fault, and with help you will be well.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Consumer News Energizer announcing new child-safe lithium batteries that come in child-resistant packaging, and they have a color alert technology that alerts caregivers by releasing child-safe blue dye into their mouths if they put a battery in there. The batteries also have bitter coating to discourage ingesting them and have ingestion burn protection to prevent burning of the digestive tract. Here's Angelica Peoples with tonight's business headlines.
This is CNBC News Now. I'm Angelica Peebles. Markets were up at least 1% across each of the major indices in Wednesday trading as oil prices fall amid potential progress on a deal with Iran. The Dow was up 612 points, the S&P 500 gained 106, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq was up 513 points. As airlines increase fares and pare back some routes amid rising costs from the war in Iran, the Transportation Department reported Wednesday that U.S. airlines spent more than $5 billion on jet fuel in the month of March. That's a 56% increase over February, totaling an additional $1.8 billion. And the Supreme Court on Wednesday rejected Apple's appeal to temporarily block an order that found the company in violation of court-ordered changes to its App Store. Apple was found in contempt as part of an antitrust lawsuit brought by Fortnite maker Epic Games. Epic accused the company of acting as a monopoly by forcing developers to exclusively use its App Store for downloads and in-app purchases. Apple had sought the temporary block to prepare a full Supreme Court appeal. That's today's CNBC News Now.
Now to our one good thing, and it's a heartwarming moment that you're about to see between a 3-year-old Wenatchee girl and the sanitation worker in whom she's found a friend. This is video from Penny's mom, who says that her daughter waits for the garbage truck every single week. But recently, the worker arrived with a gift that his daughter picked out just for Penny. This is in the Wenatchee area. As the video's caption says, Penny's new Hello Kitty backpack only comes off during bedtime. Just a sign of how meaningful a little gift can be. Love to see the joy and the bond. That's a wrap for the 6:30. I'm Sean Owsley. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow night.